Hey guys, Tough Thumbs here. It's been a while since I've done a video. A lot has happened in the last few weeks and months. It's been an ongoing thing with the Tanics. So just going to give you a quick update and show you some of the stuff I've been working on and what to expect. And I'm hoping to do more videos. I know Barry and I might do a build for his Tanic. I might do that the whole process pretty much. But yeah, for right now, some things have changed. There's no Sam, and he's never going to be coming back. My choice, not his. And an auction going on. First I got my Strider up here. Custom SMF MSC Custom. Beautiful knife by one of the best knife makers I've ever seen in my life. The Nightmare grind is just never ceases to amaze me. It's just such a beautiful grind, guys. If you ever get the chance to get one of these, they're amazing. And this thing is incredibly sharp too. Love it. So, yep, I'll have this on me at the show, East Coast Custom Show. Very excited about it, guys. So also, right now on the Cove, I have decided to let go of my Tough One. I'm not going to be making the Tough One model. I love it. Maybe someday in the future, but right now it's just not something I want to do. I have all the specs, everything's digitized for if I ever do want to do it, so I can basically water jet a proto out if I need to. But right now I have no plans for it, so I'm deciding to get rid of this one. Not because there's anything wrong with it. You see the two detent holes, that's it. Other than that, it's a really, really nice knife. I love this knife. It's been used a lot. I've refurbished it completely. Everything is nice and clean. Anything that was wrong with it at all has been fixed. All the bearings have been replaced. Pivot screws replaced. All screws replaced. Everything re-stonewashed, resharpened. Just back to brand new. This thing is just insanely smooth. It is always locked up so perfectly. And it doesn't fail either. It's ridiculous. This is a soft pad here. But if you just get your finger right here, just touch it, and it just fires like crazy. And you can feel that it's on bearings. And it's just super smooth. It never goes off center. Nothing ever changes. It's just a really solid knife. It served me well. And I just need to pass it on because I carry my Tanics too much. I'm going to miss it, and hopefully the person that does get it in the auction, maybe I can get it back from him one day, but who knows. But anyway, on USN, on my sub forum, Tough Knives, this is up for auction right now, guys. It ends on Saturday night at 9 p.m. That means it ends, but if there's a bidding match, it gets extended every 5 minutes, so one person isn't sniping another. I learned about sniping during the last 2 auctions, so yep. So you guys want the Tough One right now. I believe it's at $875, so it's not up more than I would probably charge for this because there's a lot of sentimental value here. And the Tough Knives logo is right here, and then right here I put, just for the hell of it, I just hand engraved Proto 1 of 1, nice and clean on there. Beautiful acids, or beautiful stonewash on this one. Really nice. It's nice and slimmed down too. So guys, if you want that, go on USN, go to my sub forum. New to Knives, Barry put it up. Thank you, Barry. So next up, we have the I have been calling it the Squee-Doo because my wife called it that. She's funny. That's half the reason I married her. But yeah, I made this guy with one of the scrap Tanics. I'm not sure exactly what's happening with it right now. I know that I'm falling madly in love with it, and it has not left my pocket since I made it. Now it's like basically a shrunken down version of the Tanic. Lots different though. I mean, you have your basic model. This is the first one I ever made. It's a lot smaller. This one is incredibly smooth, like incredibly. So is this guy. This guy's a ridiculous smooth. But as you can see, it's pretty small, and it's got a lot of differences going on. For one, it's about 1/8 inch thick on both sides for the most part, and might come out a little bit more around the contouring. There's Timascus around the pivot. Pivot collar, I believe that's called. The blade is just whatever I could do with this blade. These are scraps. I had nothing. I could do while waiting for my Tanic parts. So I was doing basically pimp jobs, and I experimenting with scrap Tanics pretty much. So this blade was not locking up, so I threw it aside. I thought it was too small, and I just scrapped it. It was probably that all black Tanic, which wasn't working for me. There's a lock bar insert in here. Nice clean one with AB-L. It's super solid. Collector centering. Polished around the edges with a stone wash. Just press it like a button, and it just pops right out. When you press it down like this, just shoots out. Really kind of reminds me of a birch. With this one and the other scrap Tanic, it's just whatever the hell would come out to be a functioning knife was my goal. So whatever shape it had to be, I tried to stay away from anything that would really look like something else, but a lot of people say it has birch-like qualities to it, which I agree. But I had actually the birch that they were talking about sitting here the other day, and it wasn't anything like it, but it's just little knives, little flipper, titanium. I love this one, guys. It's got a simple little titanium rounded spacer in there, a pocket clip with two screws, one to stabilize and one to hold it in, a little spacer there. Just really like this a lot. And she'll go back in my pocket. Little squee-doo. Next up, this one's a little bit crazier. This one you guys have probably seen on Instagram. This one is, I don't know what I was doing when I made it, but I really like the way it turned out. I was actually a little taken back by what it actually ended up looking like. It looks really professional. I know that's weird. I mean, but for me, when I was finishing it up and I was like, and putting it together, I was kind of like, wow. I mean, I was really taken back by it. I kind of didn't expect it to look the way it looked. I mean, the whole thing was just touch and go the whole time. Things looked terrible. I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I was like, screw it, maybe someone will buy it, you know, but once I got towards the end of it and it locked up, I started doing the finishing work, and things just really clicked on this guy. It is a blade, it's S30V, it's been sitting in my shop for about 2.5 years. It's heat treated, and actually it was a flipper. The flipper was right here, and this is the pre-grind right there. And I was trying to find something to fit this frame lock that I had for one of the Tanics that was just scrap, and this just happened to run along the D10 without falling off the lock bar, and I basically made this one. So I really like it a lot. I won't be making this one, guys. This is whatever. This is not what I would have in mind for a knife. This is what the knife I had allowed me to do with the scraps. So if you guys can understand what I'm saying, my goal was to make use of the scraps and not waste anything. So, and also to just express my creativity in this guy. And I wanted to do like an art knife for the East Coast Custom Show. So this will be for sale at the East Coast Custom Show, probably open bid, along with the next one I'm going to show you. But this one is not like a flipper. It's not like a, hey, let's go stab somebody, like tactical, like quick deployment. It can be very quick deployment. I mean, as you can see, I can deploy that very quickly. With a little bit of practice, you can, I basically put the fuller in here to, not for looks, but for opening. But it also looks really freaking cool. And I kind of was like looking at it the other day, and it wasn't focusing. This area kind of looks like a halo sword, if you look at the negative areas. I know I'm weird. But the pivot is Damascus, kind of like raindrop Damascus. It's hard to see on camera. You can kind of make it out here. You can see around the edges. Just some scrap Damascus. Alpha pivot with a pattern that sort of just made itself. Some chatter with a file. Made a really nice pattern on there, highly polished. Everything's gonna be redone. When I don't have a knife that's not for somebody, I carry it for a while, and then basically redo it, and if I'm gonna sell it. They got a titanium overlay with some screws that kind of stick out, kind of like a steampunk look going on here. A little bit more subdued. Kind of has a Grant Gavin Hawk type look to it. Surprisingly comfortable. It's not a big knife, but if you get your finger there in the groove, like right about here, right in the middle, it grabs onto your finger now, and it's just very easy to flick open. Other than that, you can take both fingers here and just easily just flick it open as well. You'll see it's locked. This side, got a nice like cavern there around the pivot. I really like the way that looks. Some might say it looks unfinished. I think it looks good. Because the Damascus at the bottom there, which you won't be able to make out here, it looks really nice. And then the pot clip I'm really happy with. It's really slim right against the body, but it goes right in your pocket perfectly. Just a little standoff there, made out of titanium. Nothing special. Got some gear on the top here. It's an interesting knife, guys. I mean, a really interesting knife. I really appreciate the feedback, guys. I mean, I'm really proud of this one. It kind of shows that I can do other things with knife making besides, like, you know, the Tanics and the Toads, and kind of like really put myself out there on this one, guys. And I put a lot into it, so let me know what you think of that, guys. So this will be an East Coast Custom show, open bid or for sale, I'm not sure. Now, finally, I want to spend some time on this one. The crown jewel. This is the Wharncliffe Tanic. She's beautiful. This one, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So right now this does not have an owner, and it's not going to have an owner. It'll be mine for now until things pan out. But this will be at the East Coast Custom Show. Depending on what happens, I may sell it, maybe not. All I know is I put a lot of work into this guy. This is the first of the new batch of scales I got, and there was a lot of issues with them I had to have fixed. Usually the first batch out of my scales, whenever I get them from Waterjet, the knife will go to me because there can be some issues. So I make sure that knife is perfect, and I'll send back the scales, or I'll fix the scales, or whatever needs to be done. Because occasionally there's just slight errors, but no big deal. But the first one I do, I can't really tell if everything's going to work unless I have a working knife. So this one had all sorts of problems. It's perfect right now. Turns out the problem with it was off center. It was rubbing against the side. Turns out I need another hole. I had one hole here, and or one hole right here and nothing else. Sorry to give everyone the finger there. And it was real off center, so I put just a regular screw right there, and it worked perfectly. The reason I did that is this blade, my original design for this knife, for the Tanic Wharncliffe, it looked great open, but I never factored in the fact that it needed to be closed, and it's a huge blade. So as you can see, the tip goes all the way to here. I mean, which does not, you can't even get in there to have it touch your finger at all. I would definitely be cut by that if it was, you know, sticking out. But this is perfectly centered. One of my best grinds I've ever done. It's gorgeous. I mean, it has less of a rugged look to it, yet still maintains that like extremely just aggressive look to it. Really hard orange peel on there with a counterboard area that is anodized a bluish purple. It's blue, it's very blue, and then around the edges there's some purple around the edges. Backspacer is like halfway up. Gear pattern inset a little bit into a nice groove here. A cutout in the inside so your fingers don't... Basically when you drop down there, you keep going a little bit further, which gives it a better flip, and it's a lot more comfortable. This looks very nice going into this backspacer. This side we got more orange peel. The screws have been roughly filed. I have this weird method of doing things. So it has a rough circular pattern on it. If I can get it, there you go. It has a really nice look to it. It's kind of got like, it's almost sparkly, but not quite. It's like a rough metal look to it, but it's all uniform going in a circle, as well as the bottom screws here and the pivot on this side. The pot clip is also orange peeled as well. It's got a choil and the Tough Knives logo on top there. If you guys hate it, let me know. I personally like it, but every time I seem to put this on a blade, people don't like it. I do like it, but if I see a bunch of people saying they don't like it, I'll just take it off. No problem. I got the Tough Knives logo on the other side. Full flat ground. more than halfway up. It's definitely got a lot of blade on here. We got an Emerson ECCKS 12 here. Really nice pimped Emerson here. Some jizz coming out of it. I can do this, guys. As you can see, an Emerson ECCKS 12, pretty big knife. This is definitely the largest Tanic I've ever done to date. It dwarfs this guy. I mean, it's a lot bigger. That's why I had to take out the screws here and just basically get the motor jet without any holes here at all, anywhere, so I could fit this beast of a blade in here. I only have one left, guys. It's not something I could just do all the time. I hope to get more of them, but right now this is mine. I will be selling one of my prized possessions here to replace it, because I cannot have 3 of my own knives or 4 of my own knives or whatever. I just need to scale back on keeping my shit. So I cannot get rid of the first one I did because it just represents so much for me. But this guy, as much as I love the shit out of this thing, the sheep's foot will be at the show for sale. There may be some more added things to it. Might be a Damascus inlay in there. Right now it's got shiny. It's all shiny around the edges here. The clip is definitely getting replaced for sure. Just really high polished chrome backspacer and all around the edges and spine. So it's a mix between rugged and classy. This has been one of the sharpest knives I've carried that I've ever done. It's going to be hard to let go of, but I always kind of babied it because I knew I'd be selling it eventually. It's just so smooth. There's no stick whatsoever, nothing like that. I mean, a little bit of stick is a good thing, guys. I mean, as much as you might not think it is, it's actually a very good thing, because you know it's going to wear a lot slower, you know. So this one's got like the perfect amount of stick to it. I mean, I can't. My fingers are killing me. Right now she's sticking more than usual, but of course, because the camera's on. That's why. But yeah, it's no big deal. It doesn't ever stick enough to where you need to have a tool. It's easy to disengage. When you're working in cold all day, guys, your fingers get real sore, so not an excuse, it's a fact. But let's check out some details here. So I did a semi-polished grind. I wanted to keep the grind lines looking real clean. The hand rub machine look on the top, on the flats, is perfect. I mean, the swedge is really nice. It's got a 120 grit finish on it. Everything else is 120 with Scotch-Brite. This guy goes up to a 240, I believe, and then polished up just a hair, just to get everything more uniform. But it's, I mean, as far as I could tell, N690 is completely rust resistant, 100%. I haven't seen a spot of rust on my knife yet. I got some jimping on top. See the orange peel there. Not something I do very often. All the sides are sandblasted. All the side and beveling sandblasted, as well as the pocket clip has sandblast on the sides too. Inside the grooves are sandblasted. Really perfect lockup on this guy. This thing is solid as hell, and as far as smooth goes, I mean, it's ridiculously smooth. You guys will see it at the show. Let me know what you think of it right now, guys. So anyway, I mean, I am in love with this thing. I pretty much talk about it all night, but I won't. I am sorry. And I will try to make more videos, guys, but please check out the USN sub forum. This is strictly for supplies, for Tanics. Maybe going to buy a knife at the East Coast show, but not my reason for going. My reason for going is to have a good time, meet a lot of knife makers, make some connections, and meet you guys if I can. So I apologize for any. Yeah, I've been very kind of weird lately, guys. I've been very busy, so people have called me. I may have been short with a few people. I apologize for that, but as you guys know, I am a person, so some people get pushed to limits and you call it a bad time, and it doesn't happen barely ever, but it can happen, guys. I just ask you to be respectful, just like I'm always I try to be respectful of my customers. except for Barry. But anyway, guys, have a great night. Thanks for watching. Oh, wait. Did you guys see this one yet? John Gray collaboration? I don't know if I did a video on this one yet, but I believe I didn't. This one will be open bid zirconium around the alpha pivot there, both sides. Contoured. The blade is ground by me completely. Notches, everything all finished, everything done by me. I'm not sure if I show this in video yet, guys, but I will show it more in the next video I do before, so you guys can see it more. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great night. Peace.